Welcome back to the Toonami Bible, where we discuss the subtextual and symbolic meanings behind some of the block's most beloved shows. Today we're jumping into Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. Made by the same studios, these shows are two sides of the same coin. Polar opposites, yet still the same. One has bust, and the other, a great personality.
What a load of crap.
One show centers around futuristic cowboys, Spike, Jet, and Faye. The other around samurais of the past, Mugen, Jin, and Fu. The three main characters are virtually the same, except for the themes that drive each show. The theme of selflessness versus selfishness. Cowboy Bebop represents selfishness.
Don't you get it? I'm gonna splatter Grandma!
Well, that's a real shame.
While Samurai Champloo represents selflessness. In selfishness, we tend to hold on to the past and ignore others' needs in search of closure for it. In selflessness, we tend to accept people as they are and try to see them from their point of view. In Cowboy Bebop, Faye had a hard time letting go of her past, unable to not look for answers for him. Jet was known as a black dog of the show, because
When I bite, I don't let go.
Spike can't let go of his love for Julia, or his hate for Vicious. Even when presented with an option to leave, he decides to run to his past, rather than letting go of it. These characters live for their past, and are unable to move on from them, becoming blinded to the emotional needs of others. Back in feudal Japan, we have Faye, who selfishly starts off her journey, searching for her father, wanting to belt him on for leaving her and her mother. But once she confronts him, she accepts the idea and moves on, as painful as it was to learn the truth of why he left, to protect her. Then we have Jin. Jin, like Jet, has a past, but unlike Jet where he goes towards his past when it comes calling, Jin's constantly trying to let go of his. And then there's Mugen. Mugen doesn't really care about anything.
Don't you care if this kid lives or dies?
Nah.
Which is almost polar opposite to Spike's character, who does nothing but. Oddly enough, the three main characters aren't the focus of the show, but the people they run into. Each episode is almost inconsequential to the main story of the show. But it's how our characters react to the people they run into that reveal the themes of each show. In Cowboy Bebop, monetary gain was a prime motivator. They couldn't be bothered to help anyone unless it was for money. Because of this selfish thinking, the main character focus of the show usually winds up in a worse place than where they started, often dead. In Samurai, where honor is a prime motivator, our characters usually have some thought or feeling towards the people they meet, often leaving their character focus in a better place than where they started. Because of the selfless thinking, their need for food is often met by others, unlike in Cowboy, where since they couldn't be bothered to help anyone unless it was for money, they often go hungry. It's the finale of the show that really defines these characters. Although the theme of Cowboy is selfishness, our characters seem to show selflessness at the most seemingly random times. That's because their empathy only goes as far as their own personal experiences. Jet didn't stop Spike when he went after Vicious, because when Jet's past came calling, he tried settling the matter. So he understood Spike's need closure of the past. Spike also helped Faye gain closure about losing her memories, by saying to forget about them. But when Spike fails to take his own advice, his words that Faye clung onto become hollow.
You're the one still tied to the past, Spike.
Faye gives foreshadowing of Spike's events to come, with her own point of view of her past.
My memory finally came back. But nothing good came of it.
That even though her memory returned, nothing's changed. Spike didn't heed the warning that Faye and Jet gave. He still chose to hold on to his hate for Vicious. even after reconciling his love with Julia. A decision that cost him both his love and his life. We're even met with the phrase, "You're gonna carry that weight," meaning the emotional weight of the decision to not let go. In Samurai, it didn't matter what scope of life each one came from. Mugen didn't care about anything, but still cared enough for Fu to sacrifice his life for her. Jin was the opposite of Fu, trying to move on from his past rather than clinging on to it, and was still willing to sacrifice his life for her, despite their differences in emotions. So which path will you choose? One of selfishness or one of selflessness? Until then, see you, Space Samurai.